I really want to see what they're planning on like bridging the gap with, because I don't think that there were any horrible mistakes there from Evil Lemons. I felt like it was a little bit amateurish at times, but that's kind of to be expected with players who were, for the first time ever, being introduced to this competitive level playing field. I think that it was mostly just jitters that was causing them to kind of just jump in a little bit too soon and a little bit too rushed.
Well, we'll see what happens with Evil Lemons, because I liked what they were doing in the beginning. It felt like Legit and his mid laner LusTrouZ were able to really have the synergy for the beginning of the game, and then as the game got later into its later steps, they needed to take a step back, and they weren't either willing or able to, whatever that may be.
They weren't respecting the actual damage output from InControl, I feel. It was like, we're ahead right now, so you guys can't challenge us when we go to siege your T2 tower. And then they realize that's not the case when you're up against a Rom and a Kukulkan. Whether they're level 17 or 20, doesn't make too much of a difference by that point, because typically they have the itemization online that's necessary in order to take you out.
Very interesting first pick, but it's a first pick that I agree with. Chernobog and Baron both on the table. Freya too, if we want to walk in that direction. But Athena going to be the grab here from Evil Lemons. I like this choice. I think it's going to do what they want it to do. InControl across the way. Goes for the Artemis over the Chernobog. And then the second selection, who knows? I'd like to see a Baron.
If this
but it will be the Batz.
I can't go wrong with the Batz. I mean, Fear No Evil is hard to disagree with, but if this is an Athena for the support role, yet again, I have zero gripes with this, simply because I think that cojafox did a great job abusing that global rotation factor, because he was all over the map, over there, ulting to make sure he could invade the blue buff with his team every single time it came up. And I also just really think that they kind of needed that Athena ultimate to keep their early game going as strong as it was.
Ooh, I'm making a face. Zeus is going to be the pick here for InControl. And, you know, last time we were looking at xCovi saying, all right, you pick the immobile mage. Well, if you can make it. This is sort of the double down on, like, look, if I can make it happen on Kukulkan, I think you can make it happen on the Zeus. We saw some Zeus earlier in the day as well on the Xbox side of things. And, boy, does Zeus really make it happen. Where's Aggro? Where'd he go?
Don't know if he's going to be able to have the same performance as Teak did over there in the Xbox land, but I can always appreciate a good Zeus game. I also really like that InControl chose to take their mid laner here in their third pick spam, because now they get the leisure of banning the Thoth, banning the Discordia, probably two of the best picks I think that you would want into a Zeus, because they have so much range that they can attack you from and clear the wave safely from.
I also love the Zeus selection into the ban of Khepri, right? Usually we say picks into their individual picks, but seeing that Evil Lemons have banned out the Khepri means that they don't really want these extended fights, and Zeus is going to be the one to just cut them short. Agni and Daji, though, ton of control across the way, and certainly the way to go if you're looking to control a character.
I find myself really liking Evil Lemon's draft yet again, significantly more than InControl's. I do think that InControl definitely have a more even spread in comparison to last time, and I think that's also part of the reason why they were suffering so heavily throughout that early game laning phase. But they still can achieve the same amounts of pressure, if not more so now, with the Sylvanus-Artemis dual lane. I'm mostly just questioning how's the Artemis going to fare into that Chernobog this time around.
Well, we'll certainly see. Last time around, a ton of people were on the side of Evil Lemons. Will that be the same case? Let us know in the Mixer chat. InControl here just seems to be... I really wanted to say InControl, but I didn't.
Did it not feel like a heavy confidence? Like, Mixer chat seems so certain that Evil Lemons had that one in the bag. They're like 70-something% all the way. We are doubling down on Evil Lemons here, guys. And then... Oh, well. And then Spirit of the Nine wins and Outbound happened.
And now I'm thinking of Detonate and Outbound happening. Game number 2 on the way. Let's get into it. InControl making their PlayStation debut here. And again, it's Evil Lemons with, correct me if I'm wrong, Evil Lemons just has a better composition than InControl, but looking at the style of play from InControl last time, hold on, Wicked's playing the solo rat. I forgot about
that. There's Batz.
Yeah, I forgot we were going to see the solo
Ratatoskr.
Oh my goodness! So this is I wouldn't say this is revolutionary. We've seen solo rat many times. I mean, it goes back to Divios on the PC side of things. Certainly likes playing it, but it works out. But it brings a lot of control. But is there a downside to not having a proper tanky warrior?
Heavy crowd favorite still though to Evil Lemons, despite how everything went last game. Chat's calling it a fluke because 58% is still in favor of the Evil Lemons. Kreeperkun on this Cerberus into the Ratatoskr matchup can be a little bit finicky simply because I think Rat does great damage early on if you're able to truly abuse it, but I'm not too certain that Wicked's going to have all that easy of a time doing that into the Cerberus.
Yeah, it should be a little bit tough. Wicked will have the ability to interrupt the breath at the very least. So that's going to be a nice look. Certainly something to start thinking about. But I like Wicked here. There is a ton of control. And again, should be able to help what Kovi's doing.
Hold on a second. Look at what Legit is doing right now. Doesn't help. Oh, he must have already dropped it. Cancel that. He just left the Creeper 2 there for Creeper to pick up. I thought for a moment that he didn't even head over to the blue buff and just was leaving the Cerberus all by his lonesome to try and pick that one up. But already a lot of pressure happening over here in dual lane, and it seems like Batz might be wanting to make an early rotation.
Yeah, we'll see him drop the red buff, but the pressure on the left side, no surprise there. I think the Sylvanus known for having lane pressure, but the damage he's been able to do to King O'Reilly has been really impressive. He does have the pull available to him, by the way. Meanwhile, Kreeperkun doesn't have the life available to him. Gets soloed by the Rat. Wicked 2001 making it happen.
And I was just saying, that might not be the easiest time. I was mostly keeping that in mind with Paralyzing Spit being able to not only chunk you fairly early on, but it just stuns you. It just outright stuns you from your damage. I don't think Kreeperkun was able to connect. I believe he actually had just missed prior to us panning away from that shot and him getting soloed.
cojafox and his hunter friend dealing with some damage under the tower down.
This is problematic if you're Legit, however, because both of his side lanes are losing pretty horribly,
and where do
you ask me.
Where do you go?
You hope that your purple buff doesn't get invaded. And not only that, it looks like LusTrouZ could be taking a decent chunk of poke here. Xcovi must not have had that detonated, or he didn't want to use it on only one proc of it. And red buff is due to respawn. I don't want to say this buff cycle, but definitely the next one, I think we're going to see a red buff invade. Purple buff was already stripped away by InControl's dual lane, so Outbowned and Joltak just going to continue adding on to their experience advantage over cojafox and King.
Rygaklu making his presence known on the left side. Oof. Nice dodge there. Joltak was on the money with the pull, but a quicker dash from King O'Reilly allows him to play it safe. Rygaklu is here. No ultimate available quite obviously, but he does have the jump slow. Here he comes, right into lane. Not going to find the stun, but finds the slow on a King O'Reilly. Wrong target, though. Had he looked at the Athena, that might have been a kill.
No, Rygaklu from the start was panning for the Chernobog because he knew he didn't have that dash available. If he'd been able to go into darkness, and then I think we would have seen him directing his attention more towards the Athena. But because he saw the Chernobog just expend that dash and knew it was on cooldown, he thought, maybe I get the lucky crit off of the monkey toss or the overhand smash connection, and that just wasn't the case. Made it into the tower line because it was already so close to the tower line.
Wicked here now has the ultimate. Kreeperkun does not have that available. Don't forget, first blood went to this solo lane Ratatoskr, getting the solo kill. Looking pretty good so far. Level 6, as the enemy does hit level 5.
And again, this isn't necessarily something that Kreeperkun can't come back from by any means, but it does mean that when the second iteration of the buff spawn cycle start to happen, that's usually around the point where you start to see more invades occur because everybody has their ultimates by then.
Well, one being used right there. Rygaklu spends all of his mana and his ultimate to push out the mid lane mage. Agni didn't even have to use the beads, so really nice win for LusTrouZ.
He's just throwing out the Fear No Evils a little bit too far up. Needs to try and centralize them more.
Taunt coming out, and the ultimate from Artemis as well. Now a little bit of slow. Outbound trying to deal with the damage from Daji. Pull is good. Hot hands are better. 1-1 as Legit gets his team on the board.
Joltak's not out of it just yet either. There's still 4 members from Evil Lemons hanging around the corner, but Legit might have just met his fate here against xCovi in the mid lane. Detonate is going to be good with 3 of those charges, but xCovi won't have the Detonate this time around for cojafox.
The pull not going to be there. Neither will the Chain Lightning. xCovi making an impactful rotation, getting his first kill of the game, setting himself up to go for that Warlock staff. Has the cooldown boots already. Can we see Golden Hand, please, actually? Want to see how far xCovi is away from that that Warlock staff, and it is quite a bit away. Going to need about 2,000, if I'm not mistaken, for the tier 3 Warlock staff after picking up the tier 1. So about 1,000 more gold to go. Making sure he gets those kills is very important.
I like that play from xCovi, though. I mean, just when you think that the fight is already completely over because everybody just dumps all their cooldowns onto Outbound to make sure the Artemis dies. They're not trying to have a repeat of game 1 there if Outbound gets to hyper carry stage on this Artemis, but xCovi just slides right in there from the side, and Legit is just walking through the jungle so loosely, not really bothering to check corners, kind of just expecting the mid laner. Why would he ever rotate here when his teammate just died?
Which worked out seemingly for xCovi, as he does find himself up a kill and down nothing at all. So level 8 on the Zeus. Just now, LusTrouZ hitting level 8 on the Agni. A little bit of an upper hand for xCovi, but I think that's long term. Right now, 16 stacks of Warlock, Book of Thoth for the Agni. I actually think, believe it or not, LusTrouZ is in a better spot than xCovi is at the moment, but the team around xCovi has just been playing a little bit better.
Might be slightly further ahead. Speaking of which, you heard it right. Through the Cosmos used, I believe, for vision purposes there, out of Wicked and confirmation on the blue buff just in case, but Kreeperkun didn't seem all that interested in trying to defend his own buff.
Up in the air goes Chernobog, down on the ground, finds Outbound, but the ultimate from Artemis going to be good. There's Legit trying to follow up, but the board does find a target. There's the ultimate. Missed 1, missed 2, find the chain! Oh, and he does in the last pop of the moment. Yikes, back! And Legit gets the kill after the fact.
They spent so much time here, however, that Rygaklu now looking for the turn on. Beautiful taunt there out of cojafox. Might have just potentially saved the life of at least one of his teammates, but if not his own. Now he's on the run. xCovi, though, manages to pick up Legit on the escape, and that's going to be an easy 2-for-1 specialty there. Response from InControl, just going too deep on that Artemis.
Again, xCovi making the right rotation at the right time. Good board vision coming out from the Monkey as well, making sure to keep an eye on that enemy red buff. And trust me, expect to see InControl there. You called it. I think that red buff is the ward on the red buff is sort of a warning saying, hey, look, we've got the vision now. This is ours. The
beginning of the end, essentially, of LusTrouZ's red buff if he's not careful with it. And even if he is careful, he's still got to be on the lookout and make sure he's not getting invaded by himself. Speaking of which, Legit trying to tackle on this Ratatoskr. Might have bit off a little bit more than he can chew. Wicked going up into that through the Cosmos, looking for the solo frag onto Legit.
Ooh, think he thought about coming right on down. Too many players here. He does. Oh, Taco. Ouch. That was not the right call. Not the right call at all.
I think with more precision, he has that. Not only just one of them, but the double kill. That's just, I think, some of the complications arising. It's not always easy trying to connect with those smaller circle abilities on
It can be a little bit tough there. InControl, trying to make it happen on the solo lane. Right now, not too terrible. 1-1. About half a level above Cerberus.
It's about asserting your dominance and sending a message. And the message has been received, if you ask me.
That's fair. That is fair. For what it's worth, next time I think he'll be able to grab those kills.
He won't miss again. Yeah. He can't miss again. That's the redemption period.
Not allowed.
If you mess up 2 times in a row, like you just can't do that anymore.
Fear No Evil being used in the mid lane. Chasing out Legit's ultimate. xCovi's got an ultimate of his own. Here comes King O'Reilly. Oh, right into the hands of the Zeus. There's a detonate. really feels that right now. Oh, that Zeus is level 11.
You ever watch your life flash before your eyes whenever you're playing Smite game, and you can just tell, I'm going to die here, and there's just instantaneous regret? Well, this is King's instantaneous regret, because by using that Living Nightmare and advertising to InControl that he's 10 HP now in mid lane, I thought they were going to go for it because of the Zeus, but Kobe doesn't have that ultimate available right now, and so without it, they don't feel as comfortable, I think, trying to siege Gold Fury.
Kobe under aggression, gonna get stunned, and winds up walking away. Agni passive, just barely not enough to take care of business. Here comes the rat, gonna find one. Will he find the second taco? I don't know, he's got help from his friends. And Wicked able to dash away, so Koja does fall down. And Wicked able to make it on home.
And just barely. That flame path dash from LusTrouZ is going to be what ends up saving his life ultimately, because he was able to avoid the Acorn Blast from it. Speaking of which, King actually getting some nice poke there out onto Outbound. One downside of Artemis in comparison to the ROM is he can no longer roll out away from that Crystallized Curses, Vicious Barrage combination. There you can see he's having to use the board to get that CC immunity. King's gonna end up losing his beads also, but Outbound just on the run, gonna manage to get out because of the trap.
Nice shell, and this is the death of cojafox. Doesn't even have to use the detonate. Joltak gets the last hit. Here comes the monkey. Fear no evil. Fear in control. 203 for the jungler. Kreeperkun does find a kill. It's the fourth kill for Evil Lemons. In control up only about 1,000 gold, but the kills have been exciting.
This is the moment where Wicked needs to take a step back. He's starting to get way too ahead of himself.
I agree.
And when the Cerberus is soloing you that you killed and put down at level 3, that was Wicked's lane. And then we saw a couple of off ganks, a couple of failed invades, and he still just kept trying to push his limit. That's where it ends.
Kobe in trouble here. Big damage from the mid lane. That's going to be worse. Legit finding one and setting up his mid lane for the secondary kill. A little bit of a taunt there coming out from Legit as well. Gold Fury set up here, Taco? Or not yet?
No, this is 100% good to go. They have to worry about the Fear No Evil, but King able to rotate in thanks to that Living Nightmare. He's here to try and help assist the team. Legit gonna be looking to harass this monkey. Doesn't want to let that Fear No Evil just pop.
Jumping away. Here comes Rat in the sky. Oh, Rat a little bit too slow to pick up Legit. Finds it this time. Where's the kill? There it is. 3-2 now. Nice plays for the solo Rat.
You know what, though, Tom?
What?
This still stops the Gold Fury from happening. That's a win in InControl's book, because if it hadn't been for those solid rotations, I think that we very easily see Evil Lemons just taking this one away. But because InControl showed face at that Gold Fury, it intimidated Evil Lemons into hesitating and not wanting to fully commit to that Gold Fury.
I think I'd have to agree there, Taco. 13 minutes in, we've got 15 kills, in control with 8 of them. Just barely above a tie game here. Evil Lemons have about 400 gold and 1,500 experience. Very small leads, but I think more of a tale of how this one has gone.
For how things started on both of these side lanes for Evil Lemons, I'm a little bit surprised, I'll admit it, that somehow, some way, Legit and LusTrouZ have managed to tag team their team back to relevancy.
I'm not. Last time we saw a similar scenario. The Susanoo paired up with the mid laner, and they were able to set each other up, find the damage, make it happen, until Kobe's Kukulkan really started swinging. And I think we look at the composition, and it's the same thing. Legit and LusTrouZ helping each other out, getting the kills, making it happen, helping each other out. But then Kobe's Zeus is going to come online. Inbound falls down, but Rygaklu trades him out, no problem. With Fear No Evil off the table for now as well. I don't think Evil Lemons are going to be able to do much here. Joltak pushing him back.
Not sure that they realize, though, that LusTrouZ has also decided to rotate on over. But InControl aren't going to choose to push up any further. No real reason to, if you ask me. And with that in mind, cojafox does remember that there happened to be a sentry ward on that Gold Fury. Wants to make sure to put that vision back into Evil Lemons' favor. And I do want to also point out, I don't think we've seen as much Defender of Olympus action from cojafox as far as aggressiveness is concerned. He's been mostly having to expend this ultimate in a defensive manner, and I'm not sure if that's foreshadowing for what InControl's team fighting stage is going to look like in comparison to Evil Lemons, but if it is, Evil Lemons, they've got to do something quick, I think, to really make sure that xCovi is not allowed to do anything in a team fight.
Yeah, the Kukulkan was a problem earlier, and the Zeus gonna be a problem here. I want to bring up the Gem of Isolation, like first item from xCovi.
I can't even get mad at it because the slows are just absurd to deal with at times, and based off the rest of his team, sometimes it's okay to slow people down just a little bit because that just gives InControl even better chase potential.
Also the opposite, I think legit choosing Daji has a great ability to stick to xCovi. The slow will help him escape. Legit in trouble, finds the ultimate to avoid the knockup from Wicked. No pull, more defensive. So InControl now, they've chased out the ultimate from the jungler. LusTrouZ doesn't really matter, but InControl feel good enough to pull the Gold Fury. Have HP already. Here comes the dog jumping on in. Gold Fury leashed up, going to be healing. Fear no evil, and one goes down to the hand of xCovi. Two could be next, but it's legit. Then answers first. Rygaklu puts number 11 up, and InControl get a 2-for-1. They lose the Ratatoskr, but they gain everything else. Gold Fury under attack.
Wicked did such a fantastic job there, isolating two of the carries from Evil Lemons. Now it's up to LusTrouZ to try and go in, but he's getting trapped instead underneath the Gold Fury. Had aggro of it as well, so that was just beautiful trap placement.
Oh, Evil Lemons again steal the Gold Fury. InControl flipping a coin there. Give up the objective to the enemy team in a scenario where they definitely shouldn't have. Oof. I mean, they get the team fight after it.
It was the other way around last game. Keep that in mind. And then InControl ended up winning it.
Sure. It's just a little bit sloppy. But InControl, I think right now are learning. I think this team came in saying, look, man, we got xCovi, right? He used to play for Astral. We got the guy. And they realized that I think that there are some unknowns out there that are able to bring the noise.
They can keep up, and that's exactly what it feels like from Evil Lemons. They're just throwing bodies at that Gold Fury at that point, because you may as well just look for something, anything that can try and turn around the fact that your whole team wiped like 2 times over, waiting out a 4-minute period of trying to see who was going to pull the Gold Fury first. And InControl, they just got tired of waiting. They decided to try and fully commit. I don't disagree with their choice to stick on it. It's just not always easy trying to confirm that without having the Zeus ultimate for the true space controlling. And going back even to that initial fight, have to compliment Wicked yet again, because without the Ratatoskr, I don't think that InControl wins that fight as handily.
I agree.
Because of the fact that he kept LusTrouZ and Legit locked out of that Gold Fury pit, and all the while InControl is just tearing apart the other 3 members from Evil Lemons, and we saw 2 of them fall pretty early on since they didn't have that grouping that they kind of need.
For me, I'm looking at jungle mid one more time. Rygaklu and xCovi. xCovi now sort of joining the party, right? Zeus early on, not exactly numero uno. Up, down, cojafox gone. Outbound puts number 15 up. InControl looking to find the chase. Legit has to go into the palo. Nice quick cancel. Jumps to his teammate as well. InControl. I mean, yeah, what else do you say?
Don't think anyone saw that coming.
Oh, InControl right now. Making it happen. What do you think is better, InControl's macro or micro?
What do you mean?
Shout outs to all my StarCraft fans that are still on the same page. Evil Lemons trying to play defense. InControl, also a famous StarCraft player.
I just play tower defense.
So InControl was a famous StarCraft player back in the day, and what he was known for was dominant play, regardless of the strategy. And I think the name is very apropos here, because InControl are dominating this sort of scenario, whether it's early game, late game, or in between. cojafox gives his life up to find somebody else on the other side. Rygaklu, that is the 1 for 2. But either way, InControl. We're approaching 20 minutes. And InControl, the game seems to be tied here, but man, this is where looks can be deceiving.
Such a tight-knit grouping, though, from InControl to keep Rygaklu alive for as long as possible. That monkey should have died at least 30 seconds sooner than when he ended up falling. And ultimately, it fell onto the responsibility of cojafox to try and finish him off.
Yeah.
Having to have your Athena go that far out of position to confirm a last hit is a little bit much, and it leaves Evil Lemons without a true defensive frontline because Kreeperkun can only do so much as Cerberus. This is more so meant to be a complementing asset for their engagements and not the sole focus of it. And without having that Athena taunt to really help him out here, I don't really see Kreeperkun finding a successful Stingent Torment because actives are just so hard to force.
Got to be able to have the teammate support and just not able to find it so far. InControl.
Ideally, I think you want to see the combo falling towards something like cojafox taunts, they use beads, then legit runs in, he uses powwow. One of those two, they're fairly interchangeable with the order on that. And then afterwards, there's also Kreeperkun, who could possibly even be looking to drop that Stingent Torment immediately after the fact. That way, you're guaranteed to pull at least one member. Hopefully, it's not just going to be Joltak who comes falling into your team. But even if it is, Sylvanus, I do think that he can be shredded and turned and burned in a heartbeat.
He absolutely can. And as we take a look at the gold now, this is where InControl need to make their move. And Evil Lemons, they need to steal it again. InControl kind of have the controller in their hand, and Evil Lemons looking to kind of unplug it right now. LusTrouZ again? No, InControl get the Gold Fury.
Finally, some confirmation, but King, he's going to go ahead and dash right into the heart of all of them. Now it's going to be the Stingent Torment from Kreeperkun, but Fear No Evil quickly disorients the entire fray.
Outbound, still able to pick one up. Now where's legit on the right-hand side? Joltak here, pushing up the middle. Outbound with the accuracy. Takes down cojafox. King really on the run. He's done 20 kills for InControl as Joltak puts Blackjack on the board. 4 players down for Evil Lemons after the objective. And they're crossing the street for the Gold Fury. No, the Fire Giant.
Laughing their way all the way home to the bank, pretty much. So much gold probably just acquired right then and there, and they're not even done just yet. InControl still looking for the Fire Daddy simply because there's 4 members dead. Who's left to contest this? It's all up to Legit to try and steal it. He's going to end up blinking in, but he finds just the entirety of InControl instead. He's going to join the rest of his team for an unofficial deicide.
Man, that's going to scare even Chernobog. InControl making it happen. 22 kills to 10, and that was the jump we were talking about. InControl, they felt like they were there. They felt like they had it, and now they truly do. I think what we're looking at here is a matter of time before InControl just kind of finishes things up.
It's like a boa constrictor in a way. InControl are just strangling the life out of Evil Lemons right here, and I'm not too certain how the comeback is really meant to happen. Every engagement that they try to clash 5-on-5 is just going so against their favor, and I think a large part of that is just the chaos from the Fear No Evil. It's just splitting everybody apart, so Evil Lemons aren't able to properly utilize their team fighting combinations like they would want to.
It's exactly what happened in game number 1, but it seems like InControl, and this is kind of what I was what I was saying about the movement, was about how they're able to both be the defender and the aggressor. Let's get back to the game here. And that's what we're seeing here, is that InControl are being the aggressors this time around. Last time in game number 1, Evil Lemons would push forward, and InControl would punish with the Fear No Evil, being the counter initiation. Now, Rygaklu is just saying, you guys ready? Okay, Fear No Evil. And then xCovi goes to work. And it's really fun watching InControl sort of flex both sides.
I'm also not really all that sold on King with the Chernobog. I feel like he's mostly just been ulting into like 4 or 5 people, having to force out his own beads pretty much so he doesn't die instantaneously. And then he's also wasting the dash into the wall right away. So that just gives the interest into Control's mind to just chase. Why not chase? This guy just used everything and his beads right in front of us. Let's go.
And they're in control, are certainly eating off of it. They're making sure that they're able to keep the enemy down. And they're looking good while doing it. Again, finally finding the numbers to sort of match that anecdotal feel, right? Felt like they were in control the whole game, but they were tied. I don't even know how they were tied. Well, I do. They let a gold tree get stolen. But they were just sitting there like, oh, man. And then finally, it feels like, 10,000 gold in the lead, whole bunch of experience, 12 kills.
No matter how this ends up, though, I gotta say I am fairly impressed with LusTrouZ and Legit.
Same.
And the way that they are able to play off of each other. If they can channel that to all 5 members, they're going to have something great. Speaking of which,
the
cojafox pulls right back into that Fear No Evil.
Meanwhile, still alive at the moment. Half HP on the Phoenix, not even. Wicked trying to catch players sleeping. Kreeperkun, he's going to be deleted. Right side Phoenix now being aggressed on by the players. Finally looking at the objective. LusTrouZ has some good bombs, does some good damage. Too little, too late.
Ooh, and he gets pulled forward. Wicked now trying to give chase to the Agni, seeing if he can burst him out. Does have that Mad Guy's cloak available, so the bubble won't be popped.
You see the Book of the Dead shield? That's no lie there. Legit pops up onto the powwow, tries to get out, and he will. Mid lane bird being attacked. Meanwhile, Wicked takes care of the Athena. LusTrouZ answers back, so no more hot pulls from Sylvanus. Has been fun watching Joltak do his thing.
I'd give up my support any day of the week if it meant getting a mid Phoenix and a right Phoenix in the process. And they're still not done just yet. Evil Lemons, they gave him the good old-fashioned loop around pretty much, and now LusTrouZ uses that Aegis, trying to get away, will manage to fall back safely into the fountain. But I love how sneaky that play was from InControl. Just when you think that they're all going to be on their departure, they come right back in.
Also, a veteran play. I think that really comes from Kobe's experience here, saying, look, we've done this before. We know how to kind of keep people sleeping, so let's go for it. It works out. In control now. Mid lane and right side Phoenix down in their favor. Fire Giant, are they going to wait for it? It's a full minute. Probably. Back to base, final purchase, Fire Giant, final push. I'll put my money on it.
Safe than sorry is typically the way to go in these types of situations. Could InControl push down mid lane and possibly look to just end siege? Sure, but why risk it when you know for a fact that you can just take the Fire Giant in about another minute or so, and then all you've got to do is just run it down mid?
Well, the answer to why risk it, actually is a relevant answer. It's not rhetorical. Evil Lemons will be able to eliminate the gold lead very soon, right? Evil Lemons have about 5.5 items depending on how you're counting blessings. So if InControl do take 10 more minutes, it's a tie game. But I don't think it's going to take 10 minutes for this final push from InControl, especially when Legit's caught out, especially when Kreeperkun gets himself caught out as well. You can't be here, folks. InControl taking care of business. Up, down, left, right. Let's start again. 3 kills in a row for Wicked, and he is uncontested there.
It's not even over just yet. King trying to see if he can find any gold for his teammates, knowing full well that he can't really contest underneath that Fire Giant. And with 4 ultimates having been expended on both sides, it's just best for InControl to take their time. They have 30 seconds until Kreeperkun is revived. One positive, though, for Evil Lemons is that King managed to successfully split push out the dual lane so heavily, because now InControl is going to have to spend a little bit of time pushing down from the left-hand side. They want to get those creeps back in their favor so they can siege underneath that Phoenix without taking too much damage from the Phoenix itself.
I love this move. This is a really cool move from King O'Reilly, and I really want to point out that I love this. No intention of teleporting to where those players are, but it gave him the vision. And I think that was very, very intelligent at this point in time. Wants to know, are they going to push up the entire wave, the left side lane? How many players are going to push? Or are they just going to walk into our base? Oh, the pull, the control, the surround, and the damage. InControl making a 4-on-5 very, very quickly.
cojafox knew. He knew he goofed the second that he came through that wall. Speaking of which, though, a lot of damage happening right now. Some great burst there from King, but it simply wasn't enough. Everybody's already healing up way too much. Kreeperkun trying to do what he can to keep things under control, but it's just not enough.
Wicked having a fantastic game on this Ratatoskr. I love it already more than the Baron. 7, 3, and 8 for the solo laner. 6, 2, and 15 for the jungler. 4, 1, and 6 for the mid laner. And 2-0 for InControl. Just over 30 minutes of play, 27 kills, and InControl squeeze out the lemons.
Certainly a lot more one-sided than game number 1. That felt like a little bit more back-and-forth action, but here from the very start, we just saw InControl completely tearing through the competition there.
I mean, we were looking for a little bit more out of, honestly, both teams, right? InControl looked good enough to get the victory in game number 1, but internally, I wanted a little extra push. We saw it on the solo lane. Wicked, I think, really stepped up and made himself known and added to the cacophony of nonsense that was happening in the jungle and the mid. Lemons, on the other hand, legit and lustrous. I think we saw glimpses, but just not what we saw in game 1.
I think that it was just inexperience more so than anything else, and I am also taking pretty heavily into consideration that first set jitters. I think that we've seen plenty of players fall victim to that in the past.
Sure.
It really felt like Lustrous and Legit had it all figured out, and those two were just playing off each other so well. I really can't bring this up enough because I was very impressed with what those two had to offer. It was a little bit unfortunate that the rest of their team didn't really seem capable of keeping up, but that's something that I think is possible to come with due time, and that's what makes these kind of things so exciting.
And when you're looking at some of these newer squads and these newer leagues, right, it's more about the clay, right? I always talk about how you can't make something great if you don't have a starting point, and the starting point that I think we see the Evil Lemons at they're at a nice spot. They really are. They can have some success later on. The jungle and the mid look clean, but some of the nice stuff that we saw out of the other side, InControl, a little bit too much to handle.
And they were definitely, I mean, I hate the pun that they were in control, but they really were. Wicked, just having a drawback. I was actually wondering where this one got away from Kreeperkun, because this didn't feel like a matchup that should have gone so one-sided for the Ratatoskr, even aggressing into the tower with that dash. For a moment, Wicked started to lose track of his lead and was starting to let the lead play him, and then he managed to rein it back, and maybe that came from some assistance from his teammates telling, hey man, you gotta stop killing yourself so he can push. But whatever the case, they definitely managed to bring that Ratatoskr back underway.
I loved it. And like I said, what we saw to the Baron, basically when I watched InControl in game 1, I said, all right, Kobe's doing his thing. Okay, and he's got help in the jungle. A little bit of the Hunter looked nice. Game 2, I saw a team. I saw a solo laner do solo lane things, assist the jungle mid synergy. Everything looked really, really clean from InControl. It's why they take the 2-0 in our 4th match of the day. We saw a couple of other players go to the bat today. 2 PlayStation games as we celebrate the inauguration of our PS4 League. Also, the Xbox as well. Was fun looking at everybody and what they were able to do today.
And as you can tell, it was going to be Freaks and InControl who end up walking away with their first set victories at the PS4 debut.
Yeah, nice clean stuff. Offline, we saw Lightning Vikings fall to Insomnia, and then SB also fall to Coalition. So, nice clean stuff on our console Monday. InControl, I think, will be the team that everybody's looking at.
I can definitely see that happening because they came out with a fire for sure, especially after what happened there in game 1, probably because they know for a fact that they have to perform here on PS4.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're going to get roasted way too hard from Xbox.
That's the certain.
All their pals back there, there's just no way. Could you imagine Inbound ever letting Kobe live that down or anything like that?
I still think they're not going to let him live it down, but either way, clean stuff to watch. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. We've got the PC going on throughout the rest of the week, but these console folks are still fighting for the same pie that everybody else is. Come join us down in downtown Atlanta, 16th through the 18th of November. hi-rezexpo.com. Get your tickets. Hang out with me. Hang out with the... Hey, what are you doing that week? You going to be there?
I think I might have to be there, yeah.
Yeah?
Schedule seems a little bit open.
I'd say so. I think you should show up. How about that?
I might swing through for a little bit.
Here, my personal invite. Taco, will you come to HRX?
Thank you so much for inviting me to HRX DreamHack Atlanta.
And the same personal invite goes to you guys out there in Chatland. Personal invite from me to you. Taco, you want to see them or no?
I'm always happy to meet new people.
See, there's that. But thank you. It's been a lot of fun getting back into business. I mean, it feels good to get back into the game, right?
I think we all missed it.
Yeah, really, really fun. And like I said, this is the split that matters, baby. It's all about fall. We've got a couple of games coming on throughout the rest of the week. That's it for us, though. On behalf of myself, all my co-commentators, the people behind the scenes, and the people in chat, we love you. We'll catch you tomorrow.